Yo, welcome to another edition of More Than a Barber podcast. I'm your host, AP, and listen, today we got 50 episodes down.
Let's go.
There it is as a signature. 50 episodes down. Listen, if you are watching today, we first off want to say thank you for rocking with us for 50 episodes. We are on our journey to reach higher heights. And because of you, this is made possible. Mo, how you feeling about
I'm
50?
feeling amazing. We
Yes,
did
we
it.
did it. We did it. We definitely did it.
No, for real. Like, it's not easy to get to 50.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of, blood, sweat, and tears.
Seriously.
Knowing that a lot goes into it. They see the production as, the introduction, us talking, us laughing, but it's a lot of behind the scenes work.
Yeah, and the first thing was going to the podcast summit. When was that? A year or two ago now?
That was 2 years.
2 years
2 years
ago.
ago, this was destined because I said, Mo, you need to go out there, to the podcast summit. She's like, okay. And I'm like, I'm going to go.
Right.
And we ended up there getting gems.
Man.
Yep.
And it's been up from there.
It's been up from
All
there.
right.
It's been up from there. So do us a favor before we get into this conversation. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this episode. This is episode 50 for More Than the Barber. We got amazing conversations. You already know this is a podcast that helps inspiring barbers level up their career, giving you all the best of the best content. So we got a super dope conversation today. Do us a favor. Tune in. It's going to be dope. So yeah, Mo, I think, like we said, 50 episodes, it is a lot of work. When I first started out, I was by myself.
Right.
I was like interviewing different barbers. In fact, you remember Drea from the hair show? Not the hair show. Well, I can say it was a hair show. From the Barber Choice Awards.
Yes.
The Hispanic.
Yes.
She was my very first guest.
Now we see her married, the
Pregnant.
baby.
Yep, all of that.
All the above.
All
Yeah.
the above. And to see, and I think she is part owner of a shop.
Okay.
I think she's part owner of the shop. She's like, yo, come to our shop next year, which is this year now,
Right.
when we all do y'all tour.
She's dope.
She's dope.
Yeah.
She's really dope. She was one of the co-hosts at the Barber Choice Awards.
Yeah.
I saw her real the other day. I'm like, man, they sleeping on Drea.
I don't know why.
Yo.
Listen, I don't know why.
Yeah. And so I'm not sure when you came on, what episode you came on,
I'm
but
not sure.
for the first 4 or 5, maybe even 6 months, man, we
You
was
was
just
rocking.
was trying.
Hey,
Was trying
no,
to
you
do
was
it.
doing it. You was
Trying to
doing
do
it.
Try to do it 50 episodes in, and now that we're here,
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell the world, like, I'm just mad grateful for you.
Oh, come on now.
I'm mad grateful for
Listen,
you.
I'm always grateful for it. The way that we met and
Yep.
how it's just morphed into, a great friendship, great
sure.
business
For sure.
relationship. It's just great. I love to sit on this couch.
I know Mo need her own podcast for real, and then invite me on. You know what I'm saying? She is the co-host, but you can have so much to offer. We always talk offline
Right.
before we kind of set up and just kind of talk through, where you should be as a inventor, as a creative.
Yeah.
You are a content creator as well, but I think a lot of times people sleep on their own gift, and the world is waiting. I always tell you that the world is waiting.
It is. And I'm gonna do better this year. We talked about it.
Yep.
There was so much stuff going on in the background, and now
Understood.
now it's time
It's
to
time.
just focus.
Yeah,
2025.
let's go. Let's go.
I'm excited.
We coming 2025, and it's I don't know why, for barbers, for inventors, for content creators,
Yeah.
this year seems different.
Woo,
It feels different.
It's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on.
It's a lot. I mean, of course, we just had the election. Now we have a new president, and whatever your feelings, whether you feel like he's the best person in office or not, it doesn't matter. He's
Right.
in office. There were a lot of bills being signed, a lot of things that were signed that was now being taken away. We have families that are being deported and broken up. We have, kind of our conversation, national disasters that are going on.
So crazy.
The economy it's just a lot.
And it's hard to juggle what we see today, what's happening, what's all at face value, it is so much happening.
It's so much. And
I was thinking about that too. There's a lot going on.
it is. We went from looking at what's the things that was flying in the sky,
The
the
drones,
drones.
yeah.
Now we're not talking about drones.
Mm.
Like, what's really going on?
You know, it kind of brings us to the conversation too. I think it is a perfect way to bring it in. Like the fires, I was looking at the fires. I was looking at, just the amount of properties that just like burnt down.
Yeah.
Like barbershops, communities. I mean, can you imagine your entire state just burning down, all of what you worked so hard for go down to ashes?
And the images, I mean, on television was just like, I mean, it just didn't look real.
I know.
I was like,
Yeah.
it looks like the entire West Coast was on.
It was on fire.
No, seriously,
I don't know. I couldn't imagine. I'm from the Bay Area, which is 8 hours south.
okay,
So I mean, I've been in LA hundreds of times.
right,
I guess my thought was going there. I know I've been to several barbershops, and I wonder what are some of those shop owners doing after realizing you no longer have a barbershop?
right,
After realizing you've worked hard for this thing, you've blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, we talking 50 episodes. That was blood, sweat, and tears.
right.
But, someone who sat and planned and wrote out vision and cast vision to his team, they no longer have a barbershop. Could you imagine that? That's crazy.
Right, because I mean, at that point, you don't have a place of business.
You
You
don't.
don't have a way to make money. You have a way to make money because you have a skill, but you don't have a place that they can go to. And even if you had a place where they can go to, a haircut is not on their mind at the time.
Nah.
Especially if they lost their home, lost a loved one, lost their transportation. Those are a lot of things now that you have to say, where am I going to move now? Where's my team going to move? Where can I relocate? How long is it going to take insurance to pay out what they owe to me?
That's a good
Did I
point.
have business insurance? All the above.
So we got to unpack all of that.
Right.
We got to unpack all of that for barbers, for our community, because you never know what's going to happen. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Your followers on Instagram, your clientele, your car, like nothing is guaranteed. So let's unpack. You lost your barbershop. You lost, did you have business insurance, especially in LA,
Especially on
right?
Yeah.
You have your team. Like, what do you think a shop owner trying to compartmentalize all of that? What do you think should have been the first step once he realized all of this happened? Because I know you know about insurance, you know about how
Right.
this stuff works.
Right. It's so much because not only did you lose your shop, you lost your tools within the shop. I mean, I know some barbers maybe they take their clippers and stuff home, but that's another expense. So even if you lost the physical building, you've also lost the tools in order to be able to cut hair. So you can't even cut hair
You can't cut
at this
hair.
point to make money. It's so I don't know what the first thought process would be outside of just what am I gonna do now?
Do I relocate? Do I stay?
Right.
Because it could happen again.
It could happen
know,
again. Are my clients willing to travel to a new location? Because sometimes when you're in the community, they're within a 5, probably 10, 15-mile radius.
Sure.
And that's easy for them to go to. With everything being burned down around them, now you're going outside of that limit. So are your customers willing to follow you and do a 30-minute drive versus a 10-minute drive?
And convenience is definitely important, especially I'm driving to get a service. But in this case, I think I was reading it. It's like over $200 billion worth of damage.
And then a lot of the insurance companies have pulled out.
Is that legal?
I think so. That's happened in a few other states,
Yeah.
and that's where you have government insurance or last sort of insurance, like when you can't get insurance. You have this in government insurance, like Citizens of Florida, Citizens of Louisiana,
Understood.
Texas Wind. These are government policies that are put into play when insurance companies pull out of certain areas for whatever reason. So there may be too many disasters. So these insurance, although they collect millions and billions of dollars, at some point they don't have enough to pay out.
So this is what I heard about insurance companies. They will take the L by backing out on whatever disaster, file bankruptcy
Just to come back.
just to come back with a different name.
Exactly.
That that's the most gangster thing ever.
Insurance,
That's
and
gangster.
I work in the insurance industry, and I understand it from the policy perspective, but also as a homeowner, sometimes it can feel very scamish. Any type of insurance, from life insurance to property
Understood.
insurance to business insurance, you
Understood.
pay your monthly premiums that are due, and then when you need it, sometimes it's not there, or you're going through the loopholes in order for you to get it.
And then, like in this case with LA, I honestly don't think those shop owners are going to get anything, or what the whole entire business was worth.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, what if he was generating, $500,000 or $1 million a year just in, within all the barbers?
So, and if I could, the things that they can look at is, one, did you own the building? And if you didn't own the building, then you're not entitled to any of that payout. If you were just renting the space and none of that belongs to you, the only thing that you're going to get paid out is on your equipment. And did you have insurance for that? So was there renter's insurance? And I don't know how the business side of renter's insurance work. Did you have renter's insurance? Was any of your equipment insured? And if it wasn't, then the barber shop, the person that works in a barber shop, if they didn't own the building, there is no payout for you.
So, hold on.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So if you don't own the building and the building catches fire or the building floods and it's not your building and you don't have renter's insurance or any type of business insurance, then you don't get a payout. You're taking the L all the way around.
I can say so much to that
Yeah.
right now because we look at the glitter and the glam, we look at the shows and being on the platforms and all of that. I'm willing to bet that more than half of the barber industry don't have their clippers insured, don't have their barbershop insured.
Right.
They may have renters insurance or what have you, but in the event of something like this happening,
Exactly.
this will shake their world up. Mine too.
Yeah.
But I know to get insurance now, Drea works in insurance.
Right.
So, and you work in insurance.
Right.
You understand.
Yeah.
So it's like, nah, you got to get everything
Yeah.
insured.
Everything is sure for the amount of money that you guys pay for clippers, which I've learned
That's
by being.
that's like sneakers.
Oh my God, by
Yes.
being on this podcast and going to different shops, I've learned these clippers cost a lot of money. So if
100%.
everything was to burn down and you don't have insurance on that, you're taking the L.
You're taking the L. How
Yeah.
do you, I guess my question is, how do you bounce back from something like this as a content creator, barbershop owner, barber? How do you bounce back from losing everything, being up?
Right.
Not just starting out. And even if you're just starting out, I understand that that's a loss too.
Right.
But I'm saying, let's say I got 100,000 followers. I'm cutting everybody in Inglewood or wherever,
Right.
that whole play.
Yeah.
But I lose everything to a natural disaster.
Man, I think the first thing that it brings up is, have you built community? And community is more than money. Community is more than followers. Community is, have you sown into those people that come into your shop? That's the
good.
community.
That's
You know,
good.
those people that sit in your chair that guys say that you counsel and you listen to. Do they really rock with you? And if you lose everything, are they going to show up if you decided, I got to cut hair out of my house? I have to cut hair out of my garage. I have to cut hair on the street. Are y'all gonna show up? Because that's community. If they show up, then you build community. And if they don't, and they go to somebody else,
So you're saying like have that build enough camaraderie, community, all of
yeah,
that in the event of something happening. Because if again, you're saying they should have not should have, but they could have had that community
yeah,
where if I'm cutting on the street, are you gonna show up? Are you gonna support? Because they if everything is lost, house, barbershop,
right. Because I
man.
and I think in the barber industry, it's a two-way street, right?
Mhm.
Most times, yes, I'm getting a service, I'm getting a haircut, and you're cutting. You give the service, I pay you the money, you cut my hair, right?
Right.
What are you actually doing in the community? Am I just taking money for the haircut, or am I doing the back to school drives? Are they going to remember that? Are they going to remember the different things that I put on in the community that helped out? Are they going to remember that, you know what, maybe I was low on money and hey, you cut my hair, or maybe you gave me a discount, or you
Mm,
cut some kids in the neighborhood hair for free for the back to school drives. What did you do to
I
build
see.
that community to
I
bring
see.
them to you so that when you're in need,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna come to you and not look at it as, oh, you got 100,000 followers, or you charging $100 for haircuts.
Because they definitely doing it out there.
They definitely
They're
doing it out
definitely
there.
doing it out there
Yeah.
for sure. I couldn't even imagine. And let's just say this: shout out to every barber in LA who is experiencing this, who have been affected by this. I know for me,
Mm-hmm.
losing a loved one, my sister, that felt like I had to start all the way over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And in this, I was literally right at the mark of finishing up school and taking my state board test. But to
Right.
get knocked down like this,
Yeah.
and then having to relocate to Texas with just $300,
Woo.
like I know what it feels like, but
Yeah.
not to the point to where I lost everything.
Right. I mean, you feel like your world is going to end. But the thing about the barber industry is you have a skill set that
100%.
cannot be taken away from you. That's the great thing. You may not have a building, but you
Hmm.
have a skill set that you can pick up and it can go to whatever location that you need to go to. Whether it's in the building,
Right.
whether it's on the street,
100%. You're seeing
you
them
know,
barbers cutting on the streets. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's in a garage, in your house, you have a skill set that cannot be taken from you. That tomorrow, if the building burned down, you have a skill set that you can go buy a set of clippers from
Hmm.
somewhere and you can start cutting.
Oh, so good. And I think you just hit the nail on the head. This basically shows what you're built, like what how you're built. You know that saying, "Built for it, tough."
Hey,
Like
out the mud.
out the mud. Like
Yeah.
seriously, like what are you made of?
Hmm.
Because in in any industry, in any field niche, I think everybody has to go through something extremely traumatic.
Yes.
Some may disagree with that, but I do
Hmm.
because there's no smooth sail all the way to the end of the finish line. You
Man,
got to go through
no.
something traumatic.
Everybody who is successful, everybody who has made it to the top, when I go back and I look at their stories, they filed for bankruptcy. Somebody has stolen from them. They lost their house.
Lost the
They
house,
lost
yeah.
their car. They were homeless. Most people have that story where it's not perfect. And for a lot of people, they have that false sense that it's always going to be up. And it's not always up.
It's
That's
not.
why you have to remember where you come from.
Come on.
You have to remember when you were charging $20 and $10 and now you're charging $100. Sometimes life is gonna kick you back down where, you know what, now I gotta go back to a $25 haircut because my community has been affected. People are not gonna pay you $80 and $100 for a haircut because they've lost everything. You may have to go down to a $50 haircut or a $25 haircut until you so that you and your community can build together. So it's important to remember where you came from.
I love that, Mo.
Yeah.
I love that. I want to give a tip for a barber who lost everything
Okay.
or had to relocate because of a situation, a
Right.
disaster. The first thing I would do in a situation like that, if I lost everything,
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the situation, I would definitely leave. I would definitely either leave that area, relocate to another city or state,
Okay.
depending. I have family in several states.
Right.
So I will go to where I know is safe,
Okay.
family wise.
Okay.
And of course, I'm going to still cut hair. That's in me, right? But I want to go to a shop where they can help me get back on track.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because if you just go to another barbershop just to get money, I just gotta go to a shop just to get money. When you get up, you're gonna leave.
Right.
When you get up, you're gonna just do the same thing. But I want to go to where I can build that community, build that brotherhood, right? And then the second thing I would do is I would definitely get some disaster money. I got to get something. I lost everything.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pause here. You said, what type of money are they getting back though? Because I know I said they may not get anything, but insurance, do you think if they backed out of the policy, it's like they not getting anything? Like, of course you got government assistance, but they said what's Biden when he was president, $700? Because I'm trying to build my tips.
Right. I'm sitting here like $700. What y'all in LA?
Right, that ain't no money. That's
is-
a cheeseburger and some fries and a drink.
Man, I felt so disrespected when he
For
said
real.
$700, and we send billions of dollars
Billions.
over to these other countries, and we're talking about $700.
$700.
Disrespectful.
Very much so.
Very disrespectful, but it depends on the insurance policies and on your renter's insurance. The biggest thing is when there's a natural disaster, let's say like a hurricane, when you have your regular deductible and then you have that hurricane deductible. Your regular deductible may be $1,000 or $2,500. When there's a named storm or a named disaster, it goes up and your deductible can be $10,000, $25,000. Because it's based on your policy. So then you have to take all that into effect.
I got it.
Yeah.
So I know what I would do then.
Okay.
I got my play. I wanted to make sure, because insurance. First thing I do, scratch step one. First thing I would do is I would try to get a new phone to log back in so I can have access to my social media accounts.
Okay.
I will shoot a video explaining my situation, and I would tell the barber community, yo, I just lost everything. I'm not asking. This is not a scam. This is not me trying to get over. If you could just shoot me whatever, right, to get back on track.
I love that.
I would take that approach.
I love that.
That would be my approach. That's the step one.
And that's the importance of
having a community.
Having a community with other barbers and
With
not
other
feeling
barbers.
like you out here by yourself.
And that's why I said you said a mouthful. Most times, that's what's going to help you get out the mud anyway. Your community, whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, your girl, your wife, whatever.
Right.
Your community. And I probably said this before, but so many times as we're elevating, we start burning bridges.
Ooh.
And we start burning the same people that, we really need. You understand what I'm saying? Like you start burning these people, and when you realize you lost everything, you can't call them because you burnt the bridge.
I could say so much about that.
Like for real.
Yeah.
And so I'm like getting online. I'm gonna say first step is, yo, I lost everything. I was a shop owner. I had so many barbers. This is everything. Look at our page. You can check it out. And I'll just do my own GoFundMe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Through social media and do a GoFundMe.
And you would be surprised that maybe there's a barber that's in the next like 20, 30 miles over, but like, hey, I got a chair for you.
100%.
I got a chair for
Free
you.
booth rent, no commission, whatever, all the way up until you get back, at least 6 months or so. Or a year, whatever.
You would be surprised how many people, if you did that. I like that.
That would be my first step. That's why I had to ask first about the insurance play. And then once you get some money to be able to buy some more clippers, that's your ticket right there. Because go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish
well,
that.
because it's your ticket, because in chaos there's always an opportunity.
Ooh.
Like chaos literally builds opportunities.
It really does.
So you got to figure out, if I'm in a bind, if I'm in a situation, some type of conundrum where I'm trying to figure this thing out, man, adversity is going to birth something in you that you didn't even know exist.
No, for real.
I'm telling you,
It does.
man, I'm going to give you a story. I cut the whole UNT, not NFL, UNT football team. Some of them went to the NFL.
The NFL is coming just because you
Right.
spoke it out
Yeah,
your mouth.
the NFL. But like, I cut them for like the low
Right.
because I had just relocated with only $300 in the suitcase. I had to figure this thing out. I knew that if I can just cut one dude, I didn't need the whole team,
Right.
but if I could just cut one dude and put that sauce on him, he's gonna bring people. So this
Yeah.
client, or rather shop owner, he might just need one opportunity
That's it.
from building that play of putting yourself out there saying you need some help, getting into a shop, like one opportunity. Some barbers are just one play away.
Yeah.
You don't need 2, 3, 4. You just need one play.
That's it.
And if you could just get that one play, who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah. I like that. Ask for help.
Ask for help.
Yep. I like it.
Set your pride aside, and don't be so cocky. I don't care if you had 40,000, 50,000, 100,000 followers.
Followers don't always convert to money.
It doesn't, but in the barber industry, if they're trying to book me for a show, the first thing they do is
Look at your followers. It can, but I'm saying in your everyday.
in your everyday life, it doesn't.
Yeah, right.
You're right. I agree. I guess because I'm in the space of knowing how barbers think and how they get down with this platform. Because I'm just going to say it right now. A lot of barbers that's winning right now, they're not the best. They're not the best barbers.
You said it.
But they do have influence.
Yeah.
So it's like followers, they kind of do matter.
Okay.
Skill set may not matter as much these days, but your followers do.
So
That's a fact.
they gonna walk around with a jacked up haircut.
They gonna paint that thing to death. They gonna spray paint that haircut and make it look
Boy,
good.
that be
I ain't lying.
paid.
They gonna use that gun.
If that barber industry don't work out, you gonna paint some houses.
I promise you. I promise you. So yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it is. And so this whole thing is about how can you bounce back from a disaster. Even the other day with TikTok being banned, CapCut being banned, and as you know, majority of your barbers, content creators, those are the two platforms that they were using, specifically CapCut.
Yeah.
I was cool with TikTok. I wasn't tripping off it being banned.
Yeah.
CapCut, I use that.
Right.
I use that.
And that goes into it. We don't own our content. Anytime you put your content and you put it on one of these platforms, you've just given up ownership to TikTok, to Instagram, to Facebook, to all these other different things that you're uploading. You no longer own it. So when they decide to shut it off, you've lost everything.
That's powerful. Because sometimes I know for me, I get so in the flow of, man, I'm trying to get this amount of followers. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. And it's not a trap, but it feels like one after hearing this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't own my platform. And I'm going to tell you, when TikTok and CapCut shut down, I still had content that I couldn't get back.
Right.
And I was like, yo, and I had to pivot because I still had content that I needed to edit. And so ownership is really what I'm hearing. Like, ownership is really where it's at.
No, it is. So where do you go? Where do you put your stuff when this is why having your own website and all these things, when these platforms shut down, where else can they find you? That's why you'll see a lot of content creators have all of their content on different platforms. But if those shut down, where else can they find you? Do they know to go to your website to book you?
And I'm guilty of this because I don't have a website. I'm just going to say they ain't paying me, but I use Booksy.
Right.
And Booksy will legit, like.
So if Booksy shut down,
I'm stuck.
Because they ain't got your number.
How
How are they going to schedule to get a haircut?
Stuck.
Right.
I'm stuck.
So we have to understand as business owners that these platforms can shut down and they own our content. Therefore, they own you.
Man, this is powerful. This is really good because even though I've been in the industry for a little bit, I'm still learning.
Every day.
This is like a masterclass of realizing that if you don't own your own content, if you don't own your own building as a shop owner,
Hmm.
and something happens like
Yeah.
a fire or a hurricane or what have you, if you don't have those things in place, anything could happen.
Anything could happen and you're just stuck with nothing. Meaning you're going to get some FEMA assistance, maybe, and they don't give it to everybody because the first thing they do is say, first, you file an insurance claim with your insurance carrier. Then you have to wait on the denial letter from your insurance carrier before we'll pay out. Bring us the denial letter, and then we'll decide if we're going to give you some money. That's if we have any money left over for this storm because they only allocate so much money for each storm or for each fire, for each catastrophe. So when FEMA say we're out of money, they're out of money. Where do you go?
So that's why President Biden at the time was saying, "Yo, I can only give 700
I
and
can only give so much. Then it goes to, can you get an SBA loan? Small Business Association. Can you go get an SBA loan? Well, do you have good credit? They want some documentation.
but that's wrong though. That's wrong. So I can't create content because it's banned. My
Right.
house and everything, and if that's the case, burnt down. My shop burnt down, and I may not have good credit, but I lost everything, and now I have to re up and start
Exactly.
all the way over.
So, and by talking through this, what I'm hearing for myself is, what is my backup plan if this happens? Do I have a backup set of clippers? Because, and I don't know, maybe you can tell me, do you have another set of clippers that if somebody came in here and they broke into your shop and stole all of your equipment, do you have a backup set where you can cut tomorrow? Do you have to go buy?
Most barbers have a home kit that they've created
Okay.
to possibly cut themselves, their son,
Okay.
their family member, but it ain't the ones that's probably lost, stolen, burnt up, what have
Right.
you. So you right. But I'm gonna challenge you though.
Okay.
Should I have a backup
I
plan?
think you should. I think not a backup plan, but a backup kit. So I was
Okay.
in the military, right?
Yeah.
And we have our to go bag, meaning we have to be able to deploy anywhere within the world within 24 hours, and our bags are always packed. If I have to get out within 24 hours, if I have to get out within 4 hours, what is it that I'm grabbing? And if I can make money from anywhere in the world, why would I have not have a to go kit to go somewhere so that I can cut hair? So if I have to leave LA and I have to go somewhere else and my building is burned down, do I have my clippers so that I can continue to make money?
Okay. So your bag that you had in the military,
It's always
it's
packed.
always packed.
It's always packed. So we have a rotation. Let's say A, B, and C, red, blue, green, with it. So red means you're in the lineup, meaning if something happens in the world, your red team, you're ready to go within 24 hours. Your bag is already packed, it's already in a container, ready to be loaded, and you have to be wherever they need you to be within 24 hours,
Wow.
anywhere in the world.
Wow.
So I think just in life, what are those things that if something happens and we have to pick up and go? It's funny. My daughter has this bag for tornadoes. She's terrified of tornadoes. She has some green beans, some water, a can opener, and a whistle
Not the whistle
so that
toy.
you can find her.
Really? Oh, well, that's smart. Yeah.
She has her go bag.
Wow.
So I think as a barber, what is that thing outside of your family?
Yeah.
What is that thing that you have where I can start making money tomorrow? Because I can't get to my shop. The roads are closed. My shop is potentially burned down, but I have an extra set of clippers. Let me put that into my budget so that I can take this and go make money tomorrow.
That's that's fire. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
dope play. I am with that because now that the world is in a position where anything could happen. COVID, we had to pivot. now we're having to pivot again some years later
Yeah.
with all of what we see.
Natural disasters
Natural,
can happen anywhere.
it can happen anywhere. Like it's snowing in Dallas, Texas. Like
It's snowing in Florida and New
in New
Orleans.
Orleans. It's that's so weird. So
Global warming
really,
is real.
so really, this conversation is definitely needed. I think
Yeah.
because barbers, content creators, particularly barbers,
Mm-hmm.
we got to be prepared, and not just prepared, but can you adapt to whatever life is throwing at you?
Mm-hmm.
Can you adapt? Can you become what they call liquid? You can move however, wherever in the event of something happening. What are you really made of?
Right.
For example, some people are only thriving. Let's use Draymond Green on the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
Draymond Green, in my opinion, is garbage. Period.
Ah.
Like he cries.
Yes.
He always trying to pick on somebody that's not going.
Disrespectful
Yeah,
too.
like
Man.
if you uproot, Draymond Green to I don't know, the Cleveland Cavaliers or let's see, where else? The Spurs,
Mm-hmm.
San Antonio, anywhere but the Bay Area. He not gonna be as good as he is in this particular environment.
Okay.
And my thing is, as a barber, we got to be able to adapt. We got to be able to, be liquid.
You do.
Because anything can. I'm telling you.
I'm reading You Deserve to Be Rich.
With Earn Your Leisure?
Yes.
Let's go. I got to get that book. Is it good so far?
It is amazing.
That's good.
And I mean, it talks about our trauma with money. And one of the things that they talk about is being liquid and having that money. So because things are going to happen and everything is going on in the world and it's hard to save, but you have to be liquid. You have to be able to pick up and go, as a barber, do I have that emergency clippers and do I have that emergency fund?
Man, that's good.
That goes hand in hand together. So if I have to start over tomorrow, do I have $3,000 to $5,000 set aside? And do I have another set of clippers so that tomorrow I can start cutting?
Oh, this is good. This is good. I got to get that book.
Oh, it is everything. And I think I'm on chapter 3 or 4.
Oh, you already in there.
Oh, I'm in it. Yeah.
Man, they are giving the game away. I
And
think I saw a reel, not to cut you off, where
Mhm.
he talked about people having trauma with money or something like that. He
Yeah.
was saying,
Yeah.
like they're bad spenders and they can't really invest because of the trauma they have with money.
And more than that, they don't put the onus on that person. It's your trauma with money has to deal with how you were brought up. So that if your parents, so like Troy parents bought a house. He was the first of their family to buy a house. They were immigrants coming from Jamaica.
Wow.
They bought a house. They moved out, I think the Bronx, to a suburb area. They bought a house. All the family came over, for the holidays and
Yeah.
for the games and all that kind of stuff. But they got into a loan, what's the, God, what is it called? Where the rates increased throughout the loan. I can't think of
Is
it
it
right
the
now.
balloon?
Yes,
Where
but I
they
can't think of the
I
name
know
of it.
it wasn't a fixed rate.
So they got into one of those things, and it ballooned where they couldn't afford it. So they lost the house, and then they had to move back into an apartment, right? And so there's trauma with that. His parents, it took them probably another 10 to 15 years
To bounce back.
from that. And he said, and given the information in the book, they never really bounce back. They won't go on vacation. They won't spend money because they go back to that situation where they lost the house. And although now they are financially set, they don't take vacations. And
That's
so,
wild.
as maybe a kid growing up seeing that, now you have financial traumas. Now, yours is because I didn't and couldn't get things because my parents lost the house. Now I'm an overspender because I'm going to make up for all the things that I couldn't get. Now you have trauma, so
That's
now I just
something.
spend money. The book is so
I
good.
gotta get that.
It's really good.
And I see how you correlated the two, being able to be liquid,
Mm-hmm.
being able to adapt, being
Yeah.
able to move from, okay, I lost everything,
Mm-hmm.
during whatever situation.
Right.
And that's why I like what you're saying, because we cannot be locked up and gripped up in fear to, oh, I ain't gonna open the shop no more.
Right.
Oh, I ain't gonna do this no more. It might happen to me again, or it
Yep.
might, the trauma of losing
The trauma
everything.
of losing everything will keep you stuck. Like, I'm not gonna go get another barbershop because last time I spent all my time and all my money in 10 years just went up in a fire. Now I may stop cutting hair.
I
Now I'm
was
gonna go
thinking
get
about that.
another job.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking that exact same. I
Yeah.
was thinking, will they even open another barbershop? Or will they go to a 9 to 5?
Right.
Like, I'm telling you, where there is chaos, there is going to be an opportunity.
There's always an opportunity in
It's going to be an
chaos. I
opportunity
mean, you look at COVID. How many opportunities? I think
in
COVID
this.
created so many
Easy,
millionaires
easy,
because we were shut
easy. We
in the
had too
house.
much. We had too much time to get dope at stuff.
Yeah.
I remember I took a course. I think it was $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never spent that much money on a course.
Right.
That was my first course, and it was worth it. But I was like, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing spending this much money?
Right.
At the time, that was a lot.
Yeah, because at that point, you guys couldn't cut hair.
Couldn't cut hair. Couldn't cut hair. And so I'm saying this conversation has changed the game for me
Mm-hmm.
personally, because there are some things, I can be honest, that I don't have in place,
Mm-hmm.
that if something were to happen to my business, who knows, man?
Right.
Who knows? And I
Right.
think it's going to be another shutdown.
You think so?
I do.
Based on,
Based on who's in office, respectfully speaking.
I don't think he. He
And I'm
loves.
not saying he's bad,
No.
whatever.
He loves money too much for it to be a shutdown.
Exactly.
There will not be a shutdown.
I just think it is.
Okay.
I don't know when. I don't know how. I think it is, because that's why I'm glad we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
Because now I'm going to pivot. I'm going to pivot in such a way, in the event of something like that happening,
Right.
even if it's a shutdown, but not a whole, like, worldwide
Mm-hmm.
shutdown.
Okay.
At least we as barbers, we as creators should be prepared.
And I think that goes into the more than the barber.
Come on.
Right? So not only are we going to cut hair, but what else do we have set in place? We talk about these multiple streams of income. And Rashad, while he was on the Sherry Shepherd show, and they were doing their whole Good Morning America, like they've been all over talking about this. He said, take for instance teachers. People think that they're just a teacher from 9 to 3, but you're an expert. If you're a math teacher, then you're good at math, so you can now tutor. You can now offer your services to different people. So that goes into the entrepreneurial side. So not only are you a barber, you're a content creator, you're a teacher. There are so many different things that you can do to create money, so that if the world does shut down, what else do you have in play that you're more than a barber?
I mean, I'm gonna run it up somehow, some way. If
Yeah.
if that happened to me, like I said, I've already told you the play I would do,
Right.
but I had to learn how to film. I had to learn how to edit. I had to learn, man. I will find a way.
Yeah,
I
this
know I
whole setup you've learned how to do.
learn how to do everything.
Yeah, this didn't happen overnight.
Man, you saw
50,
me
50 episodes in.
50 episodes, like 50,
Right.
and you already know, just coming on,
Yeah.
helping, like, you see what it is.
No.
Like, we traveling, like, to Dallas, traveling to here,
Making
tour.
sure you have everything.
Make sure you have
Making sure you
everything.
have all the connections. And
Everything.
making sure there's a plug nearby and everything gets charged and not accidentally leaving something behind.
1,000%, and it happened.
And it happens.
It
like
happened.
it's a lot. People say 50 and like, oh, that's not a lot.
Man, that's a
but
lot.
the amount of work that it takes to sit and come up with content and record and do the setup and do the editing and then to push it out and then say, hey, follow,
And
hey, look at the episode.
and watch this. Do all of that for maybe 50 or 100 views.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And this all ties in, because when you're building something, it really shows what you're made of. Are you going to quit in the middle? Are you going to quit right before your biggest break.
Right.
Like you gotta build something and stick with it.
Sometimes it's just you talking to yourself and believing
Yeah.
in that long enough to stick with it, because most people would quit. Most people, the amount of you, if you calculate all of the
Yes.
hours that it takes to build one episode,
Mm.
and not only to film the episode, to set up and to edit and to create the thumbnails and to upload and all that, and then you say only 50 people watched, and then out of those 50 people that watched, nobody subscribed, right?
Nobody subscribed.
Most people would quit
They would
because
quit.
if it doesn't make sense.
It
But
don't make sense, right?
if we looked at starting by yourself from the one episode and the different opportunities that have come up, the different people with larger platforms have posted, the guests that we've had and interviewed on the show, from Sly to what's the
Barber plug,
the Barber plug,
Miss V.
Clutch,
Yep.
and then what's the NFL player that
Oh,
reposted?
Ryan Clark,
Ryan
Speedy the
Clark.
Barber.
Like,
Yeah.
everything starts, and you just have to stick with it and know that it's gonna pay off in the end. But most people on your team, they're gonna quit.
They're gonna quit, and I'm saying this episode 50. And if you're watching this, I'm telling you, I want you to wait. Give us 6 months. Give us 6 months.
Yeah.
By the summertime of 2025, More Than a Barber legit is gonna be a household name.
Oh no, for sure.
Like with the subscribers we have, with
Hmm.
the followers we have now. I was walking in the barber store the other day, trying to get a barber cape, and old boy was like, I asked him where he cut at,
Okay.
because most times when you cut, or not cut, but when you work at a barber store or a
Hmm.
barber supply store, you cut hair.
Right.
He's like, yeah, my shop is in Fort Worth. I was like, oh, that's what's up. I was like, he asked me where I cut. I said, well, I cut in Little Elm and I got a podcast.
Hmm.
When I said podcast, he knew exactly who I was. Oh, you had Flocka and you had Deep Lean. Like, he started
Right.
naming people.
Exactly.
I was like, yeah,
Because you've built community, with other barbers, with barber supplies, with different platforms. And I always tell you this: you're in a lane of your own, and we talked about this
hmm
before, because when you first started off, it was just basically entrepreneurship. Like, we was kind of talking about everything.
everything. Relationships, that's your favorite.
That's other people's
Right,
favorite.
that's your favorite.
Uh-uh.
Right.
But I mean, we kind of talked about everything, but then when you just narrowed it down to, I'm a barber and I'm going to talk about barber, but more than a barber. What
Yeah,
else do we have to offer?
yeah.
You're in a lane of your own that nobody else is in.
Yeah, and they're catching on. Some barbers are starting their pod. But piece of advice, be you. And that's what we're doing. I'm
Yeah.
being myself.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the flowers because it helps to put that fuel in the tank and to keep going.
Oh yeah.
50 episodes, it wasn't easy, but I'm ready to go even harder. 50 more, we coming for you.
Let's go.
I wish I could tell y'all the guests that's lined up in the queue, the things
Woo.
that we have planned,
Just the opportunities that was
the
presented
opportunities.
to us. I mean, there's probably so many people that want to get on the show
They
right
do.
now. It's crazy. We would have enough to fill this year and go into
And
2026.
it's no cap.
No cap.
I can tell, you not lying.
I
I could tell
know.
the way that I post now,
Mhm.
the way different ones comment,
Yeah.
different ones, I'm like, okay, they want to be on the show.
Yeah.
you know. And it's like I appreciate it because it just lets you know, keep
Yeah.
building, keep you know plowing at just keep plowing
Mhm.
because somebody is like one hit away. It's like the pinata. Man, you hit that thing one good time, all the candy
All
covered
the
up.
candy.
You fighting everybody to get it. I think
Right.
that's where we at. We
We
need
are.
one more good swing,
We
and
are.
and I think it's all
Yeah,
gonna happen.
and the one thing that I noticed when we were at the last was a barber plug,
Barber plug.
when we were sitting outside, and the guy, he was sitting at his friend's booth, and he asked about being on the show. He's not even in the industry. He was just sitting in for a friend, and he
The
brought
tax guy.
the tax guy.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
talked about barber and taxes, and You know, I was just like, you were just like, yeah, that would be a great
It would
conversation.
be.
So it's so many things that you're able to pull into this industry because, like, most barbers don't think about the insurance part of it. They're not thinking about the tax part of it as well.
This is so good. This is a loaded conversation, a loaded episode
It is.
to help barbers. And that's what I'm saying. This is an episode, even a podcast that helps barbers
Yeah.
really think through and level up. Now that we got to a point to where we kind of shared this, it's like we all need to be thinking about, you know, a contingency.
It definitely is.
Basically,
No.
if something happens, if it's almost like you say, an emergency fund,
Yeah.
we got to have all of that ready to go because anything could happen. And my last tip to barbers is build more relationships. Stop that hating. Stop being jealous. Stop worrying about why this person is on the stage and you're not, right? Why you should be on the stage. Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher, taught me a
Yes.
valuable lesson, and I learned this from afar. And I'm looking in the camera because I want you to hear me. He said, if they don't invite you to the table, you build your own table. So that way they want to be a part of what you built. And then you can run a bag up. But if you looking over here, worried about why you not on the stage, worried about why they didn't invite you, maybe you're not working hard enough. Maybe you're not making enough noise. If you make enough noise, build your own table, they're going to hear you and they're going to want to come and eat at your table.
I like it.
That's what I think.
No, for real.
That's what I think.
Build your own stage because
Build
you
it.
have to know how to speak on your own stage before you can go talk on somebody else's stage.
That's
A
a
lot
fact.
of people want to get on the stage and you don't even have experience.
Come on.
You want to use somebody else's platform to get in front of hundreds of thousands of people or millions of people, and you haven't stood on the stage in front of 20 people. You don't even know if you have enough information to give to 20 people, to 50 people, to 300 people, but you want somebody with 1 million followers to put you on their stage. Build your own stage and start speaking from there.
And I know we coming to an end, but let me tell you, I'm going to add to what you said.
Okay.
I like what you said because some people think they're ready for the big stage, and when they get up there, they gonna fumble a bag because they didn't realize the prep work, what goes into being on a stage with 1 million people or
Yes.
50,000 people.
Yes.
I like what you said. Man, get comfortable with the 20.
Yeah, and one thing Donnie said, I think
I
I
know.
love smart women, but but the one thing she said, sometimes you look at some, you only have 3 people that commented on your post, or you only have 1,000 followers. Put 1,000 people in the room. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Put 1,000 people in the room. You couldn't fit 1,000 people in here. That's a lot of people. So stop looking that you don't have 10,000 likes or 20,000 likes. Put 1,000 people. Look, and maybe she used the AI to look at it,
I
to
think I
build
saw
it.
that.
Yeah. Put however many people that gave you a like, and let AI build and see how that looks in a room. It's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
The comparison game is killing a lot of people.
It's killing a lot of
Like
people.
literally.
Yeah, you're worried about this people got 10,000, you got 1,000. That's 1,000 is a lot of people. If you got 1,000 compliments in one day,
That's a lot.
that's a lot of compliments.
That's a lot. Listen, we gotta end. We got more to say, but listen, we gotta end. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you like and subscribe because we got some heat coming in 2025. Mo, this was a great episode.
I love it.
It was good.
It's always good.
It's always good. This More Than the Barber. We out. Let's go.